Okay, good morning, everyone. I want to share something with you from the book of Second Peter chapter 3. Verse 3 says this, knowing this, first of all, that scoffers will come in these last days with scoffing, following their own sinful desires. They will say, where is the promise of his coming? For ever since the fathers fell asleep, all things are continuing as they were from the beginning of creation. Okay, now I have a couple things to say about this. And first of all, if you don't know, these are the days when people are doing this. When it's talking about scoffers here, it's talking about what we see in a large scale today, not only in the world, but in the church. Okay, there's a big movement to basically scrap the teaching of the return of the Lord. There's a lot of people that scoff at the idea of Christ's return, and they just think it's nonsense, And this is actually being taught in pulpits these days, and it's actually shouldn't surprise us because the Bible told us it was going to happen. And I mean, I don't know if you realize this, but it really is evil doctrine. It's something that goes against the direct teaching of God's word. But besides that, there's another element to this, and that element is what it says here. It's that they're following their sinful desires. So people that are teaching this are not being led in righteousness. They're teaching it because they have sinful desires that are influencing them to teach these things. Now, this is such an important thing to say. The first thing is when you look up to somebody as a spiritual leader, that person needs to have a walk of integrity. Okay? If that person is given over to following in wickedness and sinfulness, I'm going to tell you that sinfulness, that wickedness, you can't just excuse it because it will corrupt their doctrine. Okay? Am I saying every pastor is a perfect man? I'm not saying that because there's not ever going to be the right pastor out there. But what I am saying is if there is an obvious disregard for walking in the truth, that's a problem. Okay? And the other thing is, it says, where's the promise of his coming? And understand, this is something that the enemy does in the hearts of people. He lies to people and he spreads lies through people that are given in to his schemes, right? And to discredit the word, to rob people of hope, and to remove from them the clear teaching of the word, comes this, where's the promise of its coming? It's always been this way. And I just want to say this, you don't even have to open your eyes to say, no, that's not true. It hasn't always been this way. Okay? The world is getting crazier by the minute in a large scale fashion. The things that are happening in the technology world and all of that, it's getting nuts, right? When you think about what they're doing with artificial intelligence, they're using it to create things that have never been created before. And they're doing all sorts of stuff like that is hard to even believe. 20 years ago, people would have laughed at those ideas. When they're talking about putting computer chips directly into people's brains and, all of this other technology, and that's just one thing. But when you look at how the world is embracing wickedness these days too, it is shocking. And you do not have to really look far to say, oh, this isn't exactly as it is. We were talking about this the other day. We're in this period of birth pangs. And as we get closer and closer, things are going to increase in their frequency. There's going to be an increase in the intensity of those things. And that's happening right now. The world's coming up with all sorts of reasons why, the chaos is happening in the world. But I will tell you what it is. It's birth pains. That's what the Bible said was going to happen in the last day. And it also said scoffers were going to show up in the last days. And we're here. So don't be discouraged when those things happen, okay? For us, what we need to do is just the opposite of the scoffers who are saying, where is this? Listen, we find great comfort and great hope in the soon and imminent return of Christ. We're looking up because we know the day's going to come. The Lord's not going to let the human race run itself into the ground. He is going to intervene, and it will be at the right time. And we can we can rest assured because it says he's not slack concerning his promises, but he still has a plan on saving many. So for the days that we're still waiting, people are still getting saved. And we can take hope in the fact that our endurance here is bearing the fruit of salvation for many people. And the day's going to come when the Lord's going to come and reintroduce himself into human history. And we look forward to that day. We look forward to the rapture of the church, and we look forward to his second coming. So anyways, I hope that you're encouraged today. May God richly bless you. Of course, leave a comment if this ministered to you. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Keep in mind, you can check me out on Rumble. Also, I have a channel there, Dale Quimby. And feel free to share this. You can just email this out to people too. So, on both of these platforms, there's a share button. You can share it. Think about who you might want to share it with. And anyways, may the Lord richly bless you. And I'll see you again tomorrow.